Okay, welcome everyone. Good morning. If you're interested in stock market technical analysis and also trade ideas, that's what this channel is all about. So I put out these videos during the market hours typically, and what I try to do is point out ideas and that I see in the charts. And it's always around key levels and using technical analysis to for our entries, right? I'm not going to put out a video after the fact and say, hey, that would have been a great trade and here's why. You know, typically I put out a video that says, look, here's a level. This is an objective area to either go long or get short. I don't know if it's going to, I don't know which way it's going to go, but the probability based on the charts tell me it's going to go this way. And that's what this channel is all about. All right. And then it's just about managing the trade once you're in a trade. I teach it all in my course. I leave a link in the description of this video. So just pop open that description. You'll see the link, click it. It's not free, but it's very cheap. You know, it's a $99 course, 5-6 hours of training. Well worth the money. All right, let's get into it. SPY. All right, so SPY is king. Here's SPY, and we're looking at an hourly chart. So basically, this is going back to April 13th. We were trading on this plateau here, and we basically had a sell signal or a breakdown yesterday. So here's your breakdown, and that's very impulsive selling. So you can see every single hour was just sold into. Today, they're popping it up on the first hour, and they're just barely above, right into resistance. I think we're going to fail right here. So this is an objective area to, either take a short or add to a short if you haven't done so. Again, that was a sell signal yesterday. Looking at the daily chart, see that breakdown right there? And let me get rid of this. Let me get rid of this red line right here. This is my long-term trend line, and yeah, we got a little bounce off of that. Well, actually, I'll leave that up for a second. I want to show you guys. But there's your sell signal from the breakdown. So we had a break. We had a plateau right here. On that plateau, we had negative divergence. Looking at the PPO and the RSI, we continued to trend lower in these making negative divergence. I teach all this in my course, so you can check that out if you're not, if you don't know what negative divergence is, or just follow along on the videos. You should be able to pick it up. But if you want to jumpstart your education, the course will do that for you. And basically negative divergence, and we had a big breakdown candle. So there's your sell signal on the S&P 500. Now, we did trade down to this red line. I know I got a lot of charts and everything going on. Let me get rid of this blue line. We traded down to this red line. This red line comes from my weekly chart. As you roll out, that's coming all the way off of 2009 lows right there. So there's my 2009 lows. There's all the times we held support on the weekly chart. We held all support through here. Broke trend in 2018. Back tested in 2019, got the COVID drop, back testing again, and recently we've kind of overshot that level a little bit, and you can see we came down yesterday right to that trend line and pretty much held so far, which would make sense. The first tag of that trend line, I think you're gonna get a reaction. It's a pretty validated trend line. So the first tag of it, you get a bounce, and that's what I think today is. But I don't think it's going to last, and so I think we're good. This is an objective area to short, and I think we are going to work our way lower. That the daily chart takes precedence, and the daily chart gave us a sell signal just starting yesterday. This is your sell signal. So a little kickback rally, I think, will be faded, and we'll continue lower. Next line of support on the SPY is about 400. Okay. So I think we're heading down there. And if we get down to 400, we will have re-entered below this trend line that I just showed you on the weekly chart. So we might have just seen a blow off top. We'll see. We'll see how things kind of continue to trade out. But again, I am looking for 400 on the SPY. Okay, looking at the Qs. Let's go to the hourly, since we're in a period of high volatility. When you're in high volatility and the VIX rises, usually you want to kind of narrow it down to look at the hourly, just so you kind of understand how the market's going to zig and zag and kind of bounce. Because again, when you're dropping, when markets are falling and you have sell signals, you're going to get these sharp bounces back. That's just how markets trade when you have volatility. So they're going to drop very sharply, quickly, and then they'll bounce back sharply. But typically they're going to bounce right to key levels and then reject and continue lower. And those bounces keep longs in their trades and also suck in dip buyers. And this market is very conducive for dip buying. I think there's just a whole group, a whole generation of traders that's what they've been trained to do over the last 10 years is buy the dip. It's worked, so they're going to continue to do that. Now, eventually it's not going to work, and when that doesn't work, all those dip buyers are going to get trapped into their long positions, and they're going to end up panic selling, and we're going to see a pretty big move to the downside because of the big flush out of all the people who bought the dip. But I wouldn't expect the first drop that you see in a correction, or whether it's the top, whatever it is, that first drop, the dip buyers are going to show up. I think it's just, you should expect that. On the Qs, we're trading up to, we could go all the way up to 324.50. Right now we are, I don't think it's going to happen though, because the SPY is right there at resistance, and I think the SPY is going to get rejected right in this area, and that would mean the Qs is basically going to get rejected as well. So if you can see, we kind of bounced up, but we're kind of starting to sell off a little bit today. And you go to the SPY, look, you can see it's starting to sell off. So again, I think the SPY is going to get rejected here, and I think that's going to drag the Qs down. Where are we going next on the Qs? Well, I think we're heading down to this level, 311 on the Qs. That's the next level of major support. So I'm looking for price action down there. And again, this market, what it's been doing is, if you look at the daily chart, it just continues to make divergent highs and then sell off. So you can see here, basically, that's what every single one of these highs are. You get a divergent high where the momentum is less than previous. So here's an example. Here's a high in price back here in September, and you can see the momentum. See the peak right there on the RSI and the PPO, how we made momentum. And then you make a new high in price kind of up in this area, but you see the momentum is a lot less, right? So that's divergence, that's negative divergence. And then just again, I've got it circled right here. We made a slightly new high on Qs, but the momentum was less basically on the RSI and the PPO, all right? Less than before. It's basically equal or less, right? Anything greater, and it would, it takes out that negative divergence. But that's not the case. We still had negative divergence up here, and then it sells off. So again, I'm still looking for that 411, or sorry, on Qs, 311, right in that area. And then, that's a more substantial level of support. The 200 day is also right below. So we'll, maybe we could dip below it, hit that 200, and then, we should find some sort of a bounce in that area, I would expect. So I'm watching for that. And as I do a quick scan through a lot of these high-flying momentum stocks, a lot of these are the ARK Invest stocks that I've been shorting for a couple months on several of them, and talking about the short trades that existed. They were really good setups, and they've all played out for massive gains. I don't think there's one that hasn't really worked. But as I scan through, you can see like Tesla down today, continuing to sell. Now it's at the 200-day moving average, but again, I don't think that's going to hold. I'm looking for 460 for Tesla's next level of support. You can see here Carvana kind of, basically flat. It's up 1%. Chewy slightly down. But again, technically, none of these are showing any strength. Peloton's bouncing a little bit up to probably this 98.60. I'm not interested in Peloton anymore. It has bullish divergence. See the bullish divergence, and that's what this low was. It was a divergent low. So I was done with Peloton down there, and I'm not really interested in that. But look at NIO, continuing down today. So none of these are, even though the tech sector and the SPYs bounced a little bit, it's pretty much attributed to the FANG stocks. And all these little momentum stocks are still showing weak momentum. So I think there's lower prices in these, and lower prices in the tech stocks, in the big cap tech stocks. AMD, it looks really weak. This one I want to point out. There's going to be a potential opportunity to add to a short trade here. Here's AMD. So I have it circled. That's your divergent high. See the momentum, how it's just dropping off, and we made new highs in price, but the momentum was basically going the other way. That's it. Momentum often leads price. It's a leading indicator. And then you look for a break of trendline support, and here's your 2016 lows on the daily chart. So a clean uptrend line right there, and there's your sell signal where you break the trend line. Okay, you back test again. You have to ride those out. But again, nothing technically changed from the setup, right? You never recovered that trend line support. It just did some back tests. And back tests can be an opportunity to add to a short trade. Major support right now is sitting about 73.75. You can see you held that support there, and there. And we're right there on it. So if this gives way, look for impulsive selling. Look for, you want to see big down moves, on your chart, and impulsive selling. And if we break the support, it looks to me like we're heading right down to 59, and that is that's a good level of support right there at 59. All right, I think we're going to get it. I think we're going to break, run right down, to about 59, and that's the trade on this one. That's really all I've got for right now is a move down to 59 for this one. But if you get that break right here at this 70, this 73, 75 area, you get that nice solid hourly close below, and it's showing, the chart will show you that impulsive selling. That's an opportunity to add to a short for the move down to 59. All right, I like that one. SQ is another decent setup. Square SQ is tied a little bit to Bitcoin because of they just tied themselves to Bitcoin. And basically, you've got an uptrend line right here on Square. We had the sell signal just the other day right there. Big negative divergence that's clearly intact over all this time frame. So we have a sell signal. Now we came right down to this is your level of support. This kind of a range, but the 200-day moving average is right here. And then you've also got the 201. It's about 202. You can see we held that support here, here, and here. And also if you kind of roll this out, it's kind of support back in here. And that was resistance, it looks like, back here. So that's your level of support. Now when this goes, or if this breaks, it should be a pretty obvious flush. Big impulsive sell down because you're breaking the 200 and that support. So dual support you'll be breaking. So that's your next sell signal, or that's your next trigger to maybe add to a short position. Take a short position if you haven't taken one already. Again, everything in this channel is just trade ideas. It's not I'm not giving advice. It's just my opinion. But we break that. I think Square is probably heading all the way down to this 135.40 area. That's the next level I see as, kind of major support. We've also got a little bit of a support line right here at about 171.20. All right. So that one, I still like it. I want to point out BABA. So I was trying to long trade on BABA a couple, weeks ago, right here at trendline support. When tech started to break though, I told everyone I was bailing from that BABA long because it just didn't look good. And I didn't want to be long a tech stock when the other tech stocks were breaking down. So I bailed, and so far that's been the right play. You can see BABA's just been selling off. One thing about BABA, you roll out to 2016, and I've got this trend line that is right about here. And you can see we're really starting to break. Now, I could give it the benefit of the doubt and kind of move it down, but either way, I still think that trend line is starting to break, and we're starting to see that a sell signal, a longer term sell signal on BABA, which to me sets BABA up for, potential bear market. We might have seen the top right up in here where it's circled that. And I think I put out a video during that time saying that might have been the top in BABA as well. So keep an eye on that, but not looking good on BABA. We'll see. But if the rest of the market continues to impulsively sell down, this is probably going to be a pretty solid sell signal. And the lift trade still looks good. Still looks like it's heading down to about 43, 43, 45 or somewhere right in there. The 200 days at 44 roughly. So I still think we're heading down to that area before we find some sort of a bounce. And again, that's what the basic theme across all these momentum stocks is. They still are showing me more downside. There's no technical change, even though the Qs is bouncing a little bit. It's pretty much due to FANG. And here's the bounce. Let's look at these FANG stocks. Apple bounced right up to resistance at 126.32 today. Let's look at the hourly. There it is. There's your resistance, rejecting so far. You see the rejection candle. Now, it's not impulsively selling off, but we got some time left. Amazon, Amazon just didn't really bounce. It's just kind of looking weak. Google, kind of selling off. And then Microsoft rejecting right at resistance at that 245.17. All right, that's a level that, that's a pretty good sized level back there. We had some, that was resistance back here. Finally, we got that impulsive breakout candle. See that impulsive breakout candle? Ramped up, came down, held support right in here, and then now we've broken back below. So you pop up into it, it should hold as resistance, and now you look for it to break. Now, if you get a big impulsive break back above, then this was a false breakdown, and likely tech is going higher, and we saw that, that's the end of the selling. But until then, this should hold as resistance. We should go lower. And looking at the daily chart, I mean, Microsoft has big negative divergence that's just been building. All this price action moving higher and higher has been divergent highs. So that tells me we're likely going to actually get a pretty sustainable downtrend, correction, whatever you want to call it, potentially on Microsoft all the way down to this major trend line, 195, maybe somewhere right in there. Okay, so I see weakness in tech, and I still see it today. It hasn't changed. Okay, that's really all I got for this video. I want to get it out so you guys can key off of these levels that I'm pointing out here in the SPY and the Qs and get the video out. So if you guys want me to look at any stocks or you see some setups, leave a comment below and I scan through those. Oh, one real quick, Boyd Gaming. Little bounce today. You can see we're bouncing up 2.25. But again, you always flip to the larger picture, and here's your daily chart, and we had the clear sell signal. So this is just a bounce within what looks to be the start of a downtrend. So we bounce, you fall, you bounce, you fall. But overwhelmingly, I think we're going to trend down and at least get down to this 43.77. But we do have a level of support here at about 55.42, which I think we'll likely hit this week, today or tomorrow. Probably hold there this week, but 55. It's about 55.50 right in the area. And I think we do actually get down to this 43.77 over time, but you could get a bounce off this level right up here. All right, so that's all I see. Leave a comment below, leave me a like, check out the course, the deal. Catch you guys on the next video.